We have a gorgeous, rainy, thundery, lightning day here in Leon, Nicaragua. It's Sunday and it's early afternoon and it's been rumbling all day, and it's just that dark, awesome tropical storm that makes places like Nicaragua and Panama so wonderful. It's a type of weather that, yeah, you can get it sometimes in the temperate zones, but we get a really special, big, heavy, powerful rain that comes in the afternoons here in the tropics. And why am I mentioning that? What makes it a perfect day to be talking about that? Well, for a lot of you, especially in the last few months, people around the world, yes, even Americans, but predominantly Canadians and Europeans, and we see this in the news quite a bit, are starting to consider what they're going to do for travel coming up this summer, or summer in the north at least. And there's often a huge number of people who go to the United States, and by and large, we're starting to hear this trend of people having second thoughts or worries about deciding to go to or through the United States. There's starting to be a lot of problems with border crossings. There's starting to be a lot of problems getting visas. There's a lot of people who are scared getting there. There's a lot of people who are scared of arbitrary detention and stuff inside the country, right? All those travel risks. We hear about, dangerous places. We're hearing about the United States every single day, many times a day in the news. So from around the world, there are people who are concerned about their travel plans to the U.S., and that has just hundreds of thousands of people who are potentially rethinking or at least considering options for what they're going to do for their summer travel plans. And a lot of people are just going to stay home. They're going to staycation or stay in their own country and do that. But there's a lot of people who are looking for options, and I'm going to give you some reasons why I think this in 2025 is the perfect opportunity for you to consider coming down and visiting us in this beautiful tropical paradise of Nicaragua. We're going to talk about that right after the bump. It could be that you're an American and you're looking for simply an exciting tropical destination, something a little bit different, a chance to explore the world. It could be that you're Canadian or European and you're worried about or simply don't want to be giving your travel dollars to the United States for whatever reason that you're starting to consider. Maybe you should look somewhere else. And a lot of you, like I said, are probably considering staying in your own country. If you're German, you may stay in Germany or localized in Europe or whatever. And often this is because your travel plans have changed and you don't want to suddenly be caught doing something that's going to cost you a lot of money. There's, limited. Everyone's kind of tight on the budgets these days. Things are a bit rough, and people are scared of a lot of things going on. So I'm going to give you a few thoughts about why I think this is your year for visiting Nicaragua. Now, of course, I live here in Nicaragua. I am a full-time immigrant here, and so I'm a little bit biased. I think a lot of people should come check it out. It is a wonderful country, but there's a couple things right from the get-go that if you're a regular on my channel, we are super safe here in Nicaragua. We're one of the safest countries in the Western Hemisphere. We have we just had a video about this, absolutely nothing going on, no increased risk for Westerners. In fact, Europeans, Canadians, even Americans, completely welcome, no issues whatsoever. Listen to those birds. We got a flock coming over. That was perfect timing. I'm sure the microphone is picking them up pretty well. And you have none of those kinds of concerns. Anything that someone comes out and says, oh, you shouldn't go to that region for, get in those comments and let me know what thing people are making up. If it's something you actually are concerned about, you think it might be real, let us know. Trust me, it is not. There is no reason other than potentially a lack of good flights, and we'll talk about how you can get here from different regions, that should have you in any way hesitating. There is quite literally nothing that should stop you. Obviously, if you come from a country that doesn't have a visa for here, that's hard to get. That's a little bit different. Oh, that thunder is awesome. So if you love rain, the summer season here in Nicaragua is the monsoon season. We are not rainy all day. People do think that it's some terrible thing and like you can't go out and do anything. No. Typically, it's a couple hours in the afternoon, and we actually love it. It's really interesting. I understand a lot of people want to come during the dry season, which we consider our winter, and that is a nice time to just have a little bit more flexible schedule. But the rains in the tropics, if you've never experienced it, they're primo. Love rain personally, and I actually wish we had a bit more of it. That's one of the things that would drive me to Panama. They get a bit more rain than we do here, but we get quite a bit, and I love it, and this is just one of those perfect days. Sorry, a little bit excited about the rain today. We're at the early part of the season, so we're just starting to ramp up with our storms, and I miss them quite a bit. The other thing is that Nicaragua is outrageously cheap. So for a lot of people, it's actually cheaper or basically break even to come visit Nicaragua for your vacation rather than staying in your own country, especially if you're going to not stay in the house, but you're going to go out and get a hotel. Chances are our hotels here are very likely to be cheaper than yours, and our food is likely to be cheaper than yours. So when you put that together, yes, there may be a cost of flights, but from a lot of places, it's very inexpensive to get here. So Nicaragua is safe and inexpensive and welcoming and loves getting tourists from all around the world. That's a lot going for it. It also, for most of the world, all the places that we're talking about, right, Western Europe, North America, you get 90 days automatic when you come into the country, and it's easy to extend up to 6 months before doing a border run. And we got plenty of videos about why border runs are so easy. So don't even worry about that. If you just come and you're like, well, I want to go on vacation and I want to go to a place where I can just decide to stay we got you, right? Come on down to Nicaragua. We'd love to have you here. We also have really good infrastructure, right? Good roads for getting around. There's a few places where they're not the best, but overall we have very good roads, best in the region, and we have really good internet access. So if you need to come down and be a digital nomad for a while, you want to get some work done, or you need to stay connected to the office, or you're a trader and you need to keep some of that job stuff going, or whatever, you need to stay in contact. Again, we got you. This is the perfect country for all that kind of stuff. I couldn't be bringing out a new video every single day on multiple channels if I didn't live in a country with really good internet. And I don't live in the capital. I don't live in a giant city. I am out in a remote area out west. I'm still near a city, but I could be in a small village and still be able to work just fine. We have so much good infrastructure here. It really is a strength of the country. So all those things aside, what makes this summer in Nicaragua such a perfect time for you? Let's start with activities. If you're coming in, we've got plenty of live music. We have plenty of beaches, both Pacific and Caribbean. We have Caribbean islands, just little ones. Make sure that they're available. They will fill up during the busy season, but we have so much surfing and restaurants, and with Pacific Ocean front, Caribbean seafront, and big lakes, there's always beaches and lots of waterside activities to do. Going out for beers, sitting on the beach and enjoying yourself, learning to surf, and so forth. We're a premium destination for this. We're also in the middle of Central America. So if you want to combine this into a larger trip where you may be hitting great places like Guatemala, El Salvador, Costa Rica, and Panama, all of that is available through this region by bus. You can take a shuttle, you can take launches out of ferries out in the water. It is so easy to get around this region that you could come in and explore a number of countries or spend your time just here in Nicaragua. We also have lots of volcanoes. We have interesting cities. We have some amazing history, a couple colonial cities to explore. We have mountain towns that have some interesting weather and a completely different culture. And we encourage you to come and spend some real time and get to know Nicaragua. This is an interesting country. It's very different than even its neighbors, let alone countries from around the world. So this is a bit off the beaten path. It's a country that so few people really consider strongly. I think you'll find that coming and spending a little bit of time in a less touristy country where you're able to really get in with the locals and get to know Nicaragua rather than going to, for example, Cancun and being around a bunch of other tourists all the time. Of course, you won't be alone. We do have tourists here, especially in places like Granada and San Juan del Sur, but you can find a few here and there all throughout the country. And like me, there are immigrants spread out all over the country. It is a wonderful country that is constantly bringing in more and more tourists, more and more expats who are making this their home, because as people discover it, they discover that this is affordable, safe, and welcoming with so much to offer as a lifestyle. So yes, your travel is probably going to be a little bit slower. We don't have nearly as many museums as a lot of other countries. We don't have as many amusement parks or activities, those kinds of things, much less of, but we have just a beautiful country where all of it is safe and welcoming, and it's an opportunity to do something very different. And remember, we're here in the tropics, so you've got warm weather year-round. You don't have to worry about a cold season. You don't have to worry about coming during some dramatic weather events. Basically, we have one season for 6 months where it rains and one season for 6 months where it's dry, and that is it. And both seasons are the same temperature and perfect for visiting. Personally, I prefer the rain, but about 60% of people prefer when it's dry, but it's really split pretty much down the middle. So come at whatever time makes sense for you. Don't let a fear of the weather dictate that you're going to come or not. Now, the bigger thing that people want to know is, how do you get here from around the world? Because Nicaragua is a little bit less accessible than most countries. So keep in mind, if you're coming from many parts of the world, the easiest paths are often by passing through the United States. That means either you have to have a visa for the U.S., be a U.S. citizen, or you need to be okay with, and you need to be okay with passing through the United States. If you're trying to avoid the U.S., maybe that's you just don't want to spend your money or you don't want to spend a bunch of time there. So that's one thing. But if you truly want to avoid it, it's going to limit your flight options. And that's one of the challenges that Nicaragua has all the time. So many things in the region are connected through the United States that it does make certain things more difficult here. So that's what we're going to talk about. If you want to come through the U.S., then getting here is really easy. Just make sure you're passing through either Miami or Houston, but Miami is definitely the best connection for almost everyone. If you start in Houston, then sure, come from there. But if you're coming from nearly anywhere in the world, make your way to Miami and fly down on Spirit or Avianca or even American from there. And it's just a 2 hour, 15-minute flight into Managua. It is so easy. And getting around Nicaragua, so easy, right? We have one central airport and everything in the country can be managed by shuttles, by bus, by taxi. Drive yourself, you've got options. But if you want to completely avoid the U.S., that's what we're going to talk about, because this is where people have questions and it gets a little bit more challenging. If you're coming to Nicaragua, there's only a handful of cities that directly connect here. One being Mexico City, one being San Salvador, one is Havana, Cuba, one is San Jose, Costa Rica, and one is Panama City in Panama. Those are your connections. Anything else that's coming here, other than from the United States, will connect through one of those cities, or possibly through Liberia in Costa Rica. But if you get into Liberia, you got to transfer to San Jose, but they're close enough that maybe we'll talk about that. So in many of those cases, you can fly into one of those cities. So coming in from Havana, there are connections from the Middle East. You can come into Havana and then hop into Nicaragua. If you're coming from much of the world, you can fly directly into Mexico City and hop down from there. That's quite easy. Avianca flies through San Salvador, and they connect to locations all over the world. So that is a consideration for nearly everyone, mostly North America and South America, because that's where Avianca flies. Europeans have the biggest challenges. Their main flights into this region are going to be through Mexico, can be through Havana, often is going to be through Panama City. That's mostly serviced by Copa Airlines, and Panama City gives you access to much of South America and occasionally flights from Europe. And then your really big connectors are actually going to be coming through Costa Rica. Now, Costa Rica is special, so I want to talk about that. And there are a few really quirky options that you can do, such as flying into Honduras and taking a car down. Those get a little bit complex, and almost no one ever does that. So while it's possible, and if you decide that's something you want to try to do, get me in the show notes and I will do my best to get you information on how best to do that, what your options are. But what is really popular, and this is some of the secrets to flying into Nicaragua. Of course, if you get a great flight into Managua, that's the way to go. But if you need to do something alternative, especially if you're coming from Europe or Canada, chances are your good flights are going to be coming through Costa Rica. Costa Rica San Jose Airport is enormous and handles flights from all over the world because they are such a major tourist hub. It's one of the great things about living in Nicaragua or being from this region, that we have access to the tourist destination of Costa Rica. It's like having a really nice version of Florida right around the corner. But we don't have to live there, right? So we don't have the high prices. We don't have all the tourists. But when we want to go there for all their variety and extra stuff, they're the world right next door. It's just a couple-hour drive. Even from up here, I'm closer to the Honduran border by far. It's still a pretty easy drive down to Costa Rica, and it's a great country to visit. But it is a lot more expensive and a lot more crowded than Nicaragua. So we notice those differences. And this is a great opportunity for you to see both if that's where you're going to be flying through. Tons of people decide to do a combined Costa Rica, Nicaragua, or even Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua holiday, because we're also accessible. If you're flying out of that central location in the mountains of San Jose, then you're right in the middle of everything in the region. Perfect. So between Nicaragua and San Jose in Costa Rica, there are flights, about $190. They very quick and easy, but very few people opt to do that because it's a small plane and you can come up on the bus, which is much cheaper. Now the bus is going to take about 12 hours, so it's a much bigger commitment in time, but it's very easy to get off your plane and just hop on a bus, come up to Nicaragua, and then you see Costa Rica and lots of Nicaragua out the windows, which is kind of beneficial. You save that time, and it just, some things get easier. So a lot of us do that on a regular basis. The buses also come from Liberia. Now, Costa Rica has two airports. Liberia in the north is a very small airport and primarily services the United States and Canada. If you're coming from the United States, just fly into Managua. But if you're coming from Canada, coming through Liberia is a very real option. I believe Air Canada comes through there and can make things very simple to bypass the U.S. Many Canadians are now wondering how to bypass the U.S. Even if they feel confident being in the U.S., one of the main hubs is Houston, and Houston is a real problem for foreign travelers. Coming through the airport, it's very logistically difficult to deal with, so a lot are looking for how they can get away from that without paying the high prices of going through Mexico City. So Costa Rica may be the answer there, or in some cases, San Salvador. If you're coming from Europe or South America, however, your main airport is going to be San Jose, the big one in the mountains. That's the capital of Costa Rica. You have LATAM, you have Avianca, and others who are coming up from all over the South American continent, plus several airlines that are coming in from Europe, plus, of course, all the regional carriers in North America are going to be going there as well. So San Jose really functions as a major hub. And again, from San Jose, you can hop directly to Managua or to Panama City, or basically anywhere else in the region. You can use it as a launching pad, plus the buses going in all directions will originate from there as well. So no matter how you want to get to anywhere in the region, you can do so from San Jose. It makes a great base, and it's a really nice city on its own. So if you want to explore that while you're there, I highly recommend taking at least a little bit of time to get to see the Costa Rican capital, but definitely get your way up to Nicaragua because we're a great place for your vacation. Knowing those tricks, knowing that the answer is not, as many people believe, simply demand to go into a Nicaraguan airport. Many people, when they're first looking at traveling to Nicaragua, they're sure that Nicaragua must have airports all over the country. We do not. Like most countries in the region, we have one or two major airports. For us, just one at Managua. We are building a new one, but it's many years out. So we are going to be flying right into the capital airport, but it's a good airport, easy to deal with, very low cost. I definitely recommend getting the VIP. Well worth it, makes life so easy coming in or out. But it is one of those major secrets that if you choose to fly into Costa Rica, you easily bring up the number of flight options tenfold. You get cheaper options, longer haul options, more country connections, and the ability to bypass any particular part of the world that you feel you don't want to fly through. So people will often overlook that and not think about, because you can't do that in most regions of the world. In Europe, we do think about it all the time. If you're flying into Germany, as I did a number of years ago, I picked Holland's Schiphol Airport because it was where I got better deals, and I just hopped the train into Germany. It was perfect. I'm glad that I did it that way. The same kind of thing is happening here. You may be coming to Nicaragua, but look for those flights into Costa Rica, and you can easily potentially save several $100s, be able to bypass places that may be difficult for you to fly through or you simply don't want to fly through, and then either take a hopper flight or take the bus and come right up from there. It's nice and easy. I sure hope that you guys are considering coming down in 2025. If you have any questions, one, watch more videos on this channel. We cover what life is like in Nicaragua all the time, from living here to traveling here, all kinds of things. We cover it all. Get into the show notes. We got tons of information, how to contact me, how to get on our social media, how to sponsor the channel, and so forth. We don't sell anything. We are purely here providing information about the country. So if you want to help keep the show going, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. We also help with some GoFundMe programs for some Nicaraguans who are looking for help. These are people that we know personally, and they really do need assistance. So anything that you can give, get in the show notes. Their connections are in there, and their stories are in their GoFundMe campaigns. Plus, we have videos about that stuff. And as always, we try to do a live show on Thursday evenings. It's a great time to hop on if you've never had an inkling of coming to Nicaragua before and you want to be able to learn about it, and just watching my shows isn't enough. Definitely start watching them, but jump on that Thursday night live stream, and it gives you a great opportunity to talk to other people in real time, including me, obviously, but lots of other people as well. We go all evening on Thursdays. It's a lot of fun and really valuable, I think, for newbies who are like, I just learned about Nicaragua, I've got questions. And then you get lots of people who are like, I've done it, I'm coming too, here's what it's like living here, here's what it's like when I visited, here's when I'm going to be there, and so forth. And you can connect in real time. We also have a WhatsApp group that you can join that's perfect for talking to the people who are living here, expats of Nicaragua. WhatsApp, everything is in the show notes. And of course, get into the comments, say hello, ask your questions, and leave just your comments, right? And as always, if you could watch another episode, that helps the show a lot. Share on social media. Get someone out there talking. I want to know, why are you potentially looking at Nicaragua? What are your travel plans this year? What do you need to know if Nicaragua is going to be a good option for you? And what a beautiful day here in the tropics. I hope that we get to see more of you guys here visiting in the upcoming months. So with that, I will see all of you tomorrow.